Okay, looks like we are live and I barely made it in time. One of those classic things where once you begin, every little thing seems to go wrong. There should be music playing in the background. Let me know if you can hear it, if it's too soft, too loud, and I can adjust. I was just able to make me some tea. Fantastic. Okay, let me just do my usual double checks, make sure everything is working just fine. I am muted on this end, good. Any people slowly trickle in. Oh, I know one mistake I made. I don't have the Rumble chat up. Just let me go ahead and do that real quick. This is going to be a bit of a scatterbrain type of live stream today. Part of me wanted to just cancel it outright, but decided no, I should just keep up with what I'm doing, keep it more consistent, etc. There we go. I got muted from this end. Go ahead and pop out chat. Hey. Man, I really wish they could connect to the Melon app, which is what I use to do the live streams. I'm no quitter. You know, I am not a quitter, and that is ironically part of the problem. There is such a thing. When did I subscribe here? Looks like I have the whale status. The whale status, Mr. Rastelin, is not subscribing to me specifically, but just that you've given a decent amount of money to Rumble live streams. That's what the whale thing means. It does not mean that you have subscribed. Going to Rumble? Yep, no problem. Here, I'll actually link the Rumble in the chat. And there we go. Now you guys can feel free to head on over to Rumble and do whatever with that. Something I found out is that Rumble pays out a lot quicker with the super chat stuff, or Rumble rants they put it. So if you guys want to do any type of Rumble rants or whatever, do it over on Rumble, where I get more of the money and it comes back to be faster. With YouTube, you have to wait until you can make at least $100. And so, yeah. I'm back. Dan from TN. I should bring this closer to something. Well, thank you for joining us, Dan. Oh, this is going to be... It's going to be a stream, that's for sure. How many people we got watching? That many? Okay, good. Let me make sure that everything is not on fire over on Discord. All right. Uh-oh. Did my... No, it's up. Okay. It's from Tennessee. I got you. Oh, I am tired, my friends. Extremely tired. Rastelin, thank you for $5 over on Rumble. Voting my whale status. Yes, highly appreciate it, especially this week. This week, if you guys want to buy some tea, I would highly appreciate it. Rent is coming up, and I am a bit shorter than I expected. We just finished the slow season of stuff. Things have picked up this month, but have not picked up enough. So what is all of this going to be about? Hopefully not just me complaining, but I'm going to be looking at chat more often today. So hoping for a little bit more interaction with that. But just overall talking about how I've managed to hit a wall. And I hit it hard enough that I'm not going to get up for a little bit longer, I think, because everything is kind of caught up to me. Since, really, if I'm being honest, since 2013, when I became a personal trainer, I have had my foot on the gas the entire time. Either with the physical fitness stuff or the personal with personal training, which is the physical fitness, or the store, or when I was doing other jobs here and there, it was nonstop. To the point where I don't know how to properly speak about it because too many grifters on the good old internet like to lie about how hard they actually work. And as somebody who actually works as hard as they claim, I feel like if I really talked about it, people would not believe it. There's been a lot of people I've been noticing the past year that their stories don't really add up with what they claim. Talking about how they work 16 to 18 hours a day, but then even within the same stream or whatever, talk about how they like to go shopping, they work out, they go to movies, they skateboard, they hang out with their friends, they play these little games, they go on kind of absurd amount of vacations, if I was to be honest. And this is multiple people, all the while claiming to be working 16 to 18 hours a day. Meanwhile, we've got somebody like me who did the whole, at its peak, I was going to bed at like 3 in the morning, waking up at 7, and going right back to work. Xeno guy, thank you for joining us. Open up Rumble on my computer, whole thing froze, on mobile now. Hey. I don't think it'll really make sense unless people know who I am and what I really come from. Having Rumble and YouTube open can conflict. Why, is it bad coding or something? Been screwing around on Discord a lot recently. Interested to hear what you see as being wrong with it. We'll get to that. Now I'm trying to make it so all of the chats are on one screen. Give me a moment. Yep, that'll work. Okay, then you go here. Yep, that'll be just fine. Okay. YouTube dead, we all moved to Rumble. I'll take it. So I guess I don't know where to begin with myself. So we'll go to Discord, and hopefully I'll be able to rant long enough to get back to myself. So when I created the Discord, one of the things I wanted to do was give people an escape from pretty much all the other stuff that you constantly see on any other Discord and Twitter and just the internet in general. We all know there's a big culture war going on and we all have to do our part in the fight, yada yada. But sometimes you just want to get away from it. And I wanted my Discord to be a place to get away from it while not shying away from it. So something that we can still talk about, but it's not something that's going to overtake the entirety of what we do. And I feel like it's kind of gotten away from that, where largely due to me and my freaking autistic ways of having to always bitch about something, it's like it's all that is going on with the Discord. And I kind of want to... Some people just pack and ship tea to relax. Well, when you're packing and shipping tea for like hours upon hours upon hours in a day, it's not as relaxing as it seems. That's for sure. That's one of the things with business stuff, is that when you do something as a business, you take a lot of stuff that's fun and you do it to the point where it becomes not fun. You see this a lot of big time streamers who stream every single day, That was something I watched from Moist Critical a few days ago, or maybe a week ago. I kind of lost sense of the concept of time, where he talked about how there was a lot of his colleagues who, the way they put it is, they used to play video games to escape from reality, but since it became their job, they now use reality as a way to escape from the games. We just shared some of our stock TOM club flavors with a friend and asked him to sub. Thank you. I do need more subs. It's been... Economy's not been kind to a lot of people. Last month was the first time since we launched the subscription stuff in which I saw a decrease in the subs in a 30-day period. Usually it's been going up and up and up. It was a little bit down, but then up and up and up. But now it's gone down, but it's gone down a lot. A little bit up, but down continuously more. So at the peak we had, what was it, 189 subs, I think, and right now we're at 178. And it's been hovering between those numbers for a while now. And I have people who have been subscribers and supporters for a long time message me saying, sorry, I have to cancel, breadwinner of the family, lost the job, so we have to cut back on all non-essentials. I understand, trust me, I do. So it's one of those things where, now that you're a streamer, you should see how the other side feels. Explain what you mean a little bit more, because there's a few ways I can go with that. I need to find a way to see if I can get the Rumble chat to show up, but whatever. For anybody on YouTube who's wondering what's going on, most people are talking over on Rumble. So if you're confused as to why you're not seeing any of it, that's why. Right now I allegedly have 19 watching on Rumble, which is good. I have to be honest though, part of me wonders exactly how honest Rumble is with their metrics. Because I love seeing the 19 watching now, but I don't actually know how many of those are real people. Because we do know a lot of places pull that game. What was the name? That other one that a lot of people go to. Come on, it's not tip my tongue. Cozy TV, that's it. For our Cozy TV, they've been caught faking the numbers by a huge amount. So if you're somebody who's just kind of looking and watching, one, hit the like button, but two, let me know you're actually there. Just so I know that it's not the people who we have going right now. Rastalin, thank you for the $20. I greatly appreciate it. Use coupon code TSUCKS for no discount for Anime Armory. That's where that site. And that is your brother's site, yes. Okay, they're not too far from me too, which is nice. I look forward to seeing them at Anime Matsuri. I also wonder, do they? No, he said he didn't have. I want to get me a Guan Yu halberd. Anyway, let's go back to the plot so people are not being too bored with this. 21 watching now, allegedly. Sorry, one of the reasons I'm like this is that I realized last week just how bad my burnout is. And it's because I started with the 4 Doors More Horse discount code from Okada. That was by far the best thing I've ever done for the business, 4 Doors More Horse. The funny thing about it is that I've had a lot of people who try to consult me on business stuff. Usually they give me good advice, but sometimes they don't. And doing stuff like the coupon code 4 Doors More Horse is obviously not professional at all. It is by no means a professional thing to do some of the super chats that I do and talk about some of the things that I talk about. But it's... how can I put this? The less professional I get, the more success I see. And I don't like that. In general, I talk a lot against the concept of professionalism, but I wanted to grow by the merits of what I do, and the merits of my tea, and things along those lines. I'm very meritocracy based. But as I have noticed, to the point where I can't deny it now, we do not live in a culture in which meritocracy actually matters. Many people will claim that they care about meritocracy, but then they don't do anything with it. They don't actually go along with the concept of meritocracy. And it hurts me to say it because, hey, I'll use this as a transition to kind of go back in time. So many people don't notice. Annex, thank you for joining us. I'm here now. Hopefully you know who I am. Yes, I do. Oh yeah, so tea was not what really started me on my... one of the things I hate is that I have to constantly change the way I speak in order to be able to communicate with people. And it's starting to upset me. I've noticed you've done innovation in Super Chats, collating wishes he did as well. Yeah, I've started like a whole new business trend, thanks to Mr. Bricado's leniency with this stuff. I look forward to paying him what I owe him this upcoming Matsuri. I lost my train of thought. What's the time? Oh yeah, going back in path. T, or talking about how I have to constantly change the way I speak. I've noticed, even with things like toilet posts and whatnot, I type something up, I read it, and if it was something that you read in a book, it would be normal. But nobody wishes to speak in a normal way anymore. I have to use words like unironically to signify that I'm not actually joking. Or I have to use words literally to let people know that I actually do mean what I say. And I hate it. I really do. But unless you can communicate with people, your message isn't really going to get through. So I have to constantly adjust the way that I speak in order to be able to let people know what I'm trying to say. And it's honestly not easy. It's not. I hate the way that modern lingo goes. So let's go with path in life. Let's go with that. My path in life did not start out with tea. Actually started out with martial arts. And it's been a journey. If you guys think that I'm good with what I can do with tea and what I know about tea and all this other stuff with the business, it pales in comparison to what I have known and what I've been able to do with the martial arts and physical fitness in general. Despite the fat son of a bitch that I am now, I used to be fit, believe it or not. Used to be a personal trainer. Used to be able to do all the handstands and all the other fun stuff that a fit person who focuses on fitness can do. And the path has been a journey, to say the least. Because when I started, I did not want to do the traditional martial arts where you compete for trophies. My goal was to find a place that didn't even bother with tournaments. Focused on just the actual old school traditional stuff. That's what I wanted. And eventually I found a place. And I promise this rant does have a point at the end. I found a place after like 6 months of looking that didn't do any tournaments, had 4 belt colors, and the belt colors were really to just more or less signify seniority, so you know which line up. And this thing was led by a man named Teru Chinen. And I think I'll talk more about him and my dojo and things along those lines over in September. Because September is when Chinen Sensei passed away. And so usually every year they have some kind of a mini mini memorial to honor him, let's say. So I just realized that I don't have YouTube chat up. There we go. Bart, thank you for joining us. What are you talking about? A lot of stuff. People fucking super. You said that a while ago. My bad. Muzzy Skeleton, thank you for joining us. Adamsk, thank you for joining us as well. Never use those words, perhaps because I was with older folks. Yeah, but it's just kind of how to weigh Amina Bird, thank you for joining us here as well. Okay, I have people joining. Fantastic. Sorry, scatterbrained. It'll get back to my couldn't severe burnout. To give you guys an idea of how bad the burnout was, it was 2 days ago on Sunday that I realized that the first time I actually relaxed and I told my mind, you don't actually have to do anything else for the rest of the day until you go to bed, I became dizzy. Like, really dizzy. And it took me like 4 to 5 days to realize that's not actually supposed to happen. Because that happens kind of often, I realized. That when I relax in this nature, and I'm not just resting until the next thing I gotta do for the day, you're not supposed to get dizzy. You're not supposed to feel lightheaded. And that's been my fucking life for a while now. And it just... Alright, let me get back to the start of all this, talking about Chin and Sensei and whatnot. This dojo was a severe dojo, in a good way. Uchinen Sensei, he was an inspiration in ways that I don't have the capability of expressing in words. Martial arts gave me a path in life, gave me a focus. I didn't exactly have a good upbringing. And if I followed the traditional path of somebody with the parents that I had, I'd probably be dead in a fucking gutter somewhere. They were highly neglectful, except for the times they were abusive. It was one of those parental relationships. To the point where my dad, like half the time, didn't even know how old I was. Sometimes it seems like he didn't even know what my name was. It was that level of neglect. And so I had the traditional tale of martial arts giving me a path and a focus. And it gave me a vision of what else I could be in my life. Yes, I can see this, Arhi. One of the things that happened is when I went up to Seattle to see him. Was it Seattle? No, it wasn't Seattle. What the hell am I talking about? It was in that state, but it wasn't Seattle. It was, I can't even remember anymore. Can't even remember the town he was in. I got to see his garden dojo. Oregon, yeah. Chinen Sensei, when he came to this country in 1969, he was supposed to only stay for about 4 months to help out some of the dojos here in the States. He barely knew a lick of English. But instead of staying 4 months, he stayed here permanently because he felt that the karate in the States was so bad, he needed it for the sake of karate to stay here and fix things up. What he did is he bought a flat piece of land that had a home on it, a crappy home. He tore the home down and he rebuilt everything with his bare hands from scratch. So he took this, God, I used to save it on Facebook, but it's no longer on Facebook because I deleted the whole damn thing. Let me see if I can find some pictures of it. I can showcase what I mean, because my words will not do it justice. Okay. So give me a minute. Talk amongst yourselves, chat, as I try and see if I can find some images with this. That's the lineage stuff. That's nice. Maybe if I go to images. That is not what I'm looking for. That's frustrating. Maybe I can find some old pictures of myself back when I was a youth. It used to not be this difficult to find pictures. I don't know why it's being like this. The internet just keeps getting worse and worse, I swear to God. If I go to all... No, I don't want you to know my damn location. Spokane, Washington was where he was located, not Oregon. It was Spokane, Washington. Garden Dojo, Spokane, Washington. This is pretty specific, so please give me some images. Come on. I might have to see if I can reactivate my face. Not right now, because that would be too much work, but... Garden Dojo, Spokane. One more look. Yeah, sorry, I know this is riveting, especially if you're just listening on audio. Hold on a second. Alright. 20 photos. Good. Alright. Give me a moment. Let me pull this up. Share screen. This one right here. Share. There we go. You guys can all see that. Good. I'm gonna full screen this. This is what's going on with chat. I've been overworking myself recently, trying to be more chill, do what I can, and not worry about what I can't at the time. Real name's not given. Washington, I have to get back to work. Have a good stream, team, man. Farewell, my friend. I'm actually... Have you been to stream before? Because I don't recognize the name, and I try my best to memorize everyone's name as best I can. Use choice spot on. Hello, fellow non-robots. Miyagi-Do. Actually, yeah. Rastilin. Miyagi Dojo. The Karate Kid. The style all that stuff was based off was Goju-Ryu Karate, which is what I did. Anyway, back to the pictures. Give me the full... Yeah, the full... Not this tiny little thing. Why is this so small? It was bigger over here. Jesus. God. It's not gonna work. Hold on a second. Really? I can't believe this. This is a joke. Why is this so small? You know, I have an idea. Hold on a second. This might just be Redfin being stupid. So what I'm gonna do, copy this. I'm gonna go somewhere else. Let's see if Zillow does a better job with pictures. Can I full screen it? Well, I can't full screen it, but I can still share this because it's a bigger picture. Right. Share. Screen. Right there. I have too many tabs open. Right. Make it full screen. Alright. So he bought a flat piece of land that was just grass that had one home. This is not the home. He tore the home down. And all of this stuff, all of these layers, all of this concrete. You can see it's not exactly the most professional, but built a secondary little dojo inside of his home. Planted all of these trees, added all of these layers. By his own hand, by his own hard work. This is the gate leading up to his home. So again, all of this right here did not exist. This gate did not exist. These stones did not exist. Another images of his home. All of this was not a thing until he built it. Obviously, he bought the refrigerator here and built it from scratch, but... So all of this, he made himself. Pictures inside the garden dojo. There's another one as well, multi-layered. And I got to walk through this, and I got to see it all. I got to feel it. His garages. All of this he built by himself. Well, he had some help from someone more heavier stuff, but largely by himself. All the different places he can train. Here's the upper dojo part of everything. And being able to experience all of this was something else entirely. I can't really put into words what all of this was going on. It was so cheap. How much are they trying to... Is it? No, it's off the market. It's an estimate $508,000. I need to figure out who owns this thing, because at some point I want to buy it from them. And I'm hoping to God that they have kept things as they are. I want to know who bought this, why, what was their intention. They better be to preserve this, because this is one of those things where... Okay, let me go ahead and hide this. Go back here. And just seeing the man being able to do all of this stuff with his bare hands, pretty much. I wanted to be the type of man who could do that. Would basically build his entire life with his two hands the way that he did. A man who uprooted his entire existence, moving to a different country that he barely spoke the language of, because his love of karate was so deep that he moved to the country to do what he can to make it better, because he felt the karate was just shit. Being able to be surrounded by a man like that, to talk to a man like that, it's one of those things that changes you. And I got to experience it. And so using what I learned from the style and the discipline and the way they told you to live life, I began to build my life that way. My Taekwondo instructor was less lofty. He was a failed actor whose greatest role was the guy in the suit in Ninja Turtles 2. Mentally burned out Subaru was so relatable. That's kind of what I'm getting at, to make a considerably longer story short. We'll talk more about it in September when I do my stream to talk about it more. And so I spent as much time as I could in training, in practice, just constantly going again. Which, looking back at it now, was not the way to do it, because we talk about rest, we talk about taking a break. This was part of the karate I practice, and part of the spiritual practices I do as well. Being the idiot that I am, I didn't listen. And so I just kept going. To be fair, between 2018 and 2022, I was kind of put in a position where I had to. And so I didn't even have a choice in that one. But then, like the idiot that I am, last year I had the choice. I began to build out my schedule and my lifestyle to include rest, include breaks, include being able to recover. And what did I do? Every time I made that little every time I made that little piece of time that I carved out into my schedule, I filled it with more work. And for some of you who don't know the way I do things, it's even if I have no intention of making something my life, I still go about practicing it as if I was going to make it my entire life. So, for example, learning the piano, in those 30 minutes to an hour that I carve out to practice it, within those 30 minutes to an hour, my mindset was not, I'm going to listen to fun little songs. My mindset was, I need to practice as if I'm going to go up on, I can't remember any of the names of any of the big places. Let's say Madison Square Garden. That I was going to be a concert pianist. And so I need to practice with that mindset in mind. The positives with this is that it makes you improve a lot faster and takes you to new heights. The downside is it's mentally straining as hell. And so when every single thing that you do in your life has that mentality from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to bed, it can kind of weigh on you. And I noticed as more and more time went on, I couldn't think, I couldn't focus. And it's real obvious to say now, but when you're in that zone, when you're in that mindset, you just keep going and going and going. And you don't even realize it. Like I mentioned earlier, it took me a few days to realize, you're not actually supposed to get dizzy when you relax. If anybody has ever gone running, the worst part of the entire experience is after you stop. Because it's after you stop that all of that fatigue just, bam, hits you at once. And you want to experience something even worse? Go jogging for a long time, then stop, breathe for a minute, then try jogging again. It is horrific. It is awful. There was a time in 2019 when I would get up at 5 in the morning so I can go to, at this point I was still in Illinois, go to the woods near me to do that jogging stuff before I even have breakfast. And I would do that as part of my training, where I would jog as long as I can, keeping up a specific type of breathing pattern until I felt like I hit the end of it. Then I'll rest for about a minute. Then I'll go jogging back the other way with a different breathing pattern to work on my breathing. It's part of my training, my practices, breathing techniques and whatnot. And the second time would always be just so god-awful. It would be just hell. And it wasn't a breathing pattern because I would change it up and whatnot. And then I would make this mistake where it becomes a never-ending spiral. Where using the running metaphor is I would sprint as hard as I can. And then 30 seconds into the sprint, I notice I'm not going as fast as I was at the very beginning of the sprint. It should be obvious why. Alright, farewell, Xeno guy. It should be obvious why I was like that. Because you can't sprint at full capacity for the entire 30 seconds. If it was, it wouldn't be a sprint. And so I would think to myself, man, I'm kind of losing it. I'm getting weaker. I'm getting dumber. Why am I like this? Maybe if I sprint faster. It's not working. Oh man, is it my techniques that's off? Is it me? Am I just lazy? I must just be lazy. Oh man. I'm trying to sprint for a whole minute, and the last 10 seconds is not as fast as the first 10 seconds. This must be a me problem. I'm lazy. I'm not working as hard as I can. I need to watch more of those motivational videos. That's what's lacking. It's just, they would just go on and on and on like this. Until finally a couple weeks ago, I kind of hit that breaking point where I just said to myself, I don't want to work hard anymore. I base my entire reality, my existence, on being the hardworking guy that just constantly pushes himself, that constantly tries to take things to new levels. And it's after I hit that point that I realized something is wrong. I'm contradicting myself many times in the things I say versus the things I do. I talk about balance, and then I do this kind of shit where there is no balance. And then it gets worse because then I look at some of the people around me. Give me one moment. Let me try and get some energy back. And just so people know, all of this bitching is being a little bit therapeutic. Because I feel like I'm yelling at myself for all this stuff. Shameful. YouTube has more likes. Equally split chats between Rumble and YouTube. Yes. What are the likes? Let me take a look. On Rumble, we only have 3 likes with 19, allegedly 19 watching now. On YouTube, we have 7 watching with 12 likes. Rumble, you're slacking. This is why I'm thinking Rumble might be lying about how many people are actually watching. So go ahead, hit that like button just so I know that Rumble isn't lying. Don't get me wrong, I love Rumble and I want Rumble to succeed so I can do away with YouTube and their horrible practices. But I gotta call them as I see them. Rumble's numbers are not adding up. 7 likes, I only see 3. Huh. Rumble doesn't refresh as often, I think. That could be why. Alright. So yeah, I kind of realized that everything is just not working. And so I've been trying to rest and relax and not do anything, and it's actually been difficult. I realized that I don't understand the concept of what rest actually means. Even when I was resting, I wasn't actually resting. I was biding my time until I can go again. So imagine when you watch a boxing match or an MMA fight, when the bell rings, they go to their corner, they're drinking some water, they're getting the pep talks, they're catching their breath, they're relaxing. For me, what I did is whenever the bell rings, I would go to the corner, but I would stay in a fighting stance the entire time, just waiting for the bell to ring again. That's not rest. And so I kept wanting to blame everything else. But eventually... Yep, we are on Rumble, Sotunar. Satunar? Not sure how to say your name. I like your profile pic, by the way. Okay, switched over to Rumble from YouTube. Time to hit the thumb. Thank you for joining us over on Rumble. And if any of you have any sympathy for this poor old broken man, give me some Rumble rants. Gotta pay that rent. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, the slow season for tea finally ended, but now I need to catch up. And so rent to do this week. Help me pay that rent. Thanks, either pronunciation works. Okay. Good to know. Where was I going with that? Yeah. So with all of this rest, using more metaphors, because that's the only way people really understand things, is when you speak about them in a non-direct way. Isn't that a funny thing? When you try and tell something to somebody directly, they're not going to get it. But if you explain the same exact stupid thing in a different way, suddenly they get it. via a metaphor or analogy. That's a weird little thing that humans have, but that's not what we're talking about right now. So you know when you go to the bathroom and you spend too much time scrolling through Twitter, when you stand up, your legs get all numb and tingly, and it's like you can't even walk anymore? It's kind of like that happened with my brain, and I'm just getting over the tingly sensation, and I'm realizing on just how little focus I have been able to have. My brain has been running at like 1% capacity just because it's been overworked. I didn't understand the concept of being rested, and I'm only starting to understand it. I'm only at the beginning stages of remembering what it actually means to rest. And it's something else, I gotta say. I wish that PeerTube succeeded instead of Rumble, because Rumble only promises to not mess up with people, but PeerTube is designed to avoid that. When you say PeerTube, you're not talking about YouTube, you're talking about something else. Language is not universal, so the same for thinking. Yeah. And so that's what I am standing with all this right now. My level of burnout has been really bad. I'm not sure the words I can use to describe it. I use the dizzy example as one thing, but just feeling the way my body has been reacting. There was another day within the past week that I tried to do a meditative exercise where you go through and relax all your muscles one by one. And when I got to my face, I realized just how tense and tightened up my face was. When I couldn't even relax it, I had to relax it in stages. And when I did fully relax it, including other parts of my body, things went numb for a little bit, because I was just under so much freaking tension. That's how bad it's gotten. It's like, oh man, this is what it's like to have blood flow to places again. That's amazing. And I would notice the warning signs, like in the past couple of years. And I'd sleep for like 5 hours at a time, and then I would get hits where for like a week I would sleep for like 12 hours at a time. It's like my body just said, okay, your opinion no longer matters. Fuck you. You're sleeping for this long because you need it. Now I'm a subscriber. King Whale. Thank you for subbing, Rastalin. Am I even saying it right? Rastalin? Tell me in Discord how to pronounce it. There'd be reasons that I'm working so hard. I suppose that's something I should talk about as well. Much like how... Oh god, give me one moment. Okay. Sorry, that's one of the annoying things that most people don't realize about owning a business. You don't know how frustrating it is when you finally lie down in bed at like 10:40 at night, waiting to go to sleep like 2 hours past your freaking bedtime, and all of a sudden you hear because you got a message from your website because somebody has something wrong with their order, so you gotta fix it when you're like barely half conscious, which happens more often than you think. It's one of the things about owning business most people. Anyway, sorry, being rambly again. So much in the same way that Chinan Sensei, going back to that, moved to an entire country that he didn't even speak the language of at the time to help promote and fix the thing that he loved so much, his karate. And by the end of it, he was traveling to all over the world. You know, Europe, South Africa, back to China, Okinawa. He had a love for something that went beyond just himself. And that is something I have as well. I have certain loves for things that go beyond just myself, where the end goal is not just what I can get out of it. I'm like the anti-grifter for a lot of things. He being one of them, and martial arts being another, but at this point it's become more of a memory than anything else. That pains me to say. It pains me to the extent where my brain is kind of not letting me think about it. But anyway, there's things that I love in this life that go beyond just me, to the point where I don't just want those things to work for me. I want to do things for those said things. Man, I'm a linguist like you would not believe. I want to do stuff for those things that help benefit it and improve it and make it better in the eyes of people. That's why for tea, all the terms I use and my focus is not on tea snobs. They already have the tea, they're happy. My focus is on people who don't know the joys of drinking this beverage. And so that's why I do a lot of things for the sake of tea, for them to be able to enjoy it, not just for my own profits. One of the sad things is all the hard work I've been putting in so far has been paying out dividends. I mean, yes, D-Man50, thank you for joining us. Yes, but not the amount I've been putting in has not been giving me back an equal amount. We'll put it like that. And going back to the main focus is that it seems like it's kind of my fault, because I've been grinding myself to the ground to this extent. Rumble, get back up here. Yeah, thank you for subbing, D-Man. I greatly appreciate it. So yeah, there's several things which I wish to be able to... Let me do this. I'm going to move the Rumble... Oh, that's annoying. One moment. Trying to make all of this work so I don't lose any of the stuff. Perfect. Alright. So there's several things that I wish to improve beyond just my own thing. One of the painful things that I've been noticing more and more on the creator sphere, and I use creator very loosely with some of these people, is that a lot of these people, all of you guys, are nothing more than dollar signs to them. And I'm hoping that on Discord, at least for the people who go to my Discord, understand that I try and have a bit more of a personal relation with you. Because if you support me in the things that I do, I don't... Choosing the proper words is difficult for this. I want to make sure that you realize that you do matter to me. And I don't want to get to the point where everybody is just a freaking dollar sign. But I've been noticing for a lot of content creators, and I'm not going to name anybody specific, just at this point it's the vast majority. It's kind of sickening, to be honest. They will stab your ass in the back if it means they can get a nickel out of it. I gotta keep this big. I have spoken to some people who are much higher on the totem pole than I am in terms of content creation on YouTube, who have told me some things about certain people that end up getting corroborated. I can't pronounce anything anymore. It gets somewhat verified by other people who have no connection to the first person. That's such kind of paint a picture with some of these people. And it's kind of painful because I worked with some of these people. And so I gotta keep my corroborated. Yes, that's the word. So I got to keep a certain sense of professionalism, but at the same time, it's like you're kind of poisoning a lot of things I want to do. Like with the quote-unquote culture war stuff. I've been fighting the culture war since the culture war even had a name. Back in like pre-2010, when it didn't even have a specific name, and people had no idea what was actually going on behind the scenes. And I'm seeing all of these people, your VTuber power is showing because you're combining with collab. Yeah. Money corrupts, especially internet socialists. Except these people aren't socialists. That's kind of the problem. That the capitalists who argue that a lot of socialists strawman capitalism, but then they go along with the strawman anyway. If that makes sense. It's like you're being the stereotype that you're saying doesn't exist. So I'm kind of in a weird spot because a lot of these people who quote unquote fight the culture war are just trying to enrich themselves. And I hate to see it. You know, a lot of people view China now as just a communist state, and it is awful. But there was a China before communism. And some of the things that happened in Chinese history is stuff like, it's almost out of legend that you would not even believe. I did finally start watching Oshinoko. When are you going on your idol journey, man? I'm not going on idol journey because this whole thing is talking about how I'm doing too much already. It hurts. But anyway. So there's a lot of stories back in China in which I don't think people understand how people can live like this. So there's a lot of ideas in Taoism that people don't know actually exists in Taoism. Because, you know, the whole yin and yang stuff, you know, there's mercy and there's also severity. One of the things that is said in a lot of text is that if you notice genuine evil that exists across the pond or across the fence, if you are capable of doing something about it, it is your moral obligation to do something about it. Because if you don't, it's going to spread to you. It always does. And you're seeing it now with the culture war stuff. You're seeing it played out in full time where the thing that happened with what was that game, Skullgirls? Well, it sucks I can't even pronounce it. Skullgirls, I think it was called. I didn't even know this game existed, but they went in yesterday or 2 days ago and added a patch note to a 12-year-old game that hasn't been updated in years to remove the fan service. They even went as far as to change the concept art. That's erasure of art itself, which is utterly demonic. You can't, for better or worse, you should not erase concept art. You should not edit concept art. Because it gives people an idea of where you started out and where things ended up. Which is really important in the growth of anybody on a journey. To see that middle point and how things evolve. Then it's exactly Annex. It's not concept art at that point. They went in, they changed the concept art. So what is it now? I don't know. Anyway, back to the China thing. So something a lot of Chinese places did back in the day was if there was an emperor or a warlord, let's say, and he noticed that in a different province there was a tyrant who's doing awful things, they would go in with their army. They would kill the tyrant. And then they would just go back home. They would have the capability of taking over the entire province and making it their own. No one would stop them. No one can stop them. And they wouldn't. They wouldn't even install like a puppet dictator or something like that. They would just let whoever's next in line to the throne take over, and they would just go right back on home. Because they would understand these concepts and principles, and they would live based on them. because they could see enough into the future that if they went down this route, bad things would happen. They just move the tyrant, move the bad guy, and go right back on their way. I don't think a lot of Western people can even wrap their heads around this concept. When the nation will go to war, the entirety of military and political power would go to the general. And the general would be able to do whatever he wanted. If he wanted to, he could kill the emperor who was sitting on a throne, take over, and claim to be the new emperor. And more often than not, that did not happen. More often than not, he would give the power back to the emperor when he was done. Even though he can do whatever the hell he wanted. And I don't think enough people understand this idea anymore. Soldiers coming back from World War II did the same thing with corrupt small towns, forced new elections. Yeah, just to make sure, someone sees something in the YouTube chat so I know it's not frozen. Sometimes that happens. So it's a lot of these concepts I go along with my own life, with my own way of doing things. Same happened in Rome. There you go. So it's things that happen a lot, but I don't think people can envision. Okay, it's not frozen. Good. I don't think people can envision such a way of somebody being like that. Well, I can blame them. I mean, we all see what the politics stuff does. But at this point, I'm not going to go into that right now, actually. I'm going to go into it a little bit later. 1 second. I've been moving away from these things more and more because I think there was an heirloom during the Warring States period that helped prove that you were the emperor. Yeah, you're talking about the Jade Emperor seal, and it's one of the things that ignited the Three Kingdoms era, because the seal was lost for a long time, and then by just pure divine happenstance, one of the warlords, how can I not remember the name? It was from the Wu clan. Sun Jiang found it. And so with this thing, this was basically like the Declaration of Independence, where if he held this thing, you held the power. And he found it. And it was one of the things that ignited a lot of battles. Because what he should have done is given it back to the Emperor. But the Emperor was right now a puppet for some evil people. And so giving it to the Emperor would have been giving it to the puppeteers. And so that would have been no good. And Sun Jiang kind of wanted the power to himself. So, yeah. I'm just kind of being an old man telling these tales and whatnot. But as I've been getting more and more exhausted and my mind... How do I know so much China stuff? College history? No, not college. My parents at the time had the money to send me to whatever college I would have wanted to, and I said no. Because even back then, in 2007, I saw what college was becoming. I mean, you guys nowadays say like, oh yeah, college is a scam and all of these degrees mean nothing, etc., etc. All of this debt for pretty much nothing. I saw it way back in the day, and everyone made fun of me for it. Everyone said I was an idiot. Everyone said, oh, T-Man, you're gonna ruin your life. You're throwing your future away unless you go to college. But I said, fuck you. You know what? I kind of need that fuck you energy back, because... How can I say this without sounding conceited? I don't think there is a way. I am right so often about these major things to such an extent that I need to stop doubting myself. There's only so many times I can be right about stuff that I have to say, hey, I kind of know what I'm talking about. And I know this is the internet, so you're not allowed to say good things about yourself. You're only supposed to have the attitude of, oh, I'm just some guy, 7 million followers on YouTube. I'm just like you, making a couple of $100,000 a year. But nah, that's part of the current zeitgeist of internet culture that I don't like. And people need to move away from that. They don't realize that when somebody has 1 million subs on YouTube, it doesn't matter if they want the power or not. They have a shit ton of power. All they gotta do is point, and the floodgates open. So you might want to say the whole quote of power corrupts, but absolute power corrupts absolutely. Well, even if you want to pretend like you don't see the power, you have that power. I'd much rather people acknowledge they have the power and use it wisely, as opposed to saying, I don't actually have the power. Be like Osmongold and just tell someone they're wrong, not go into detail, and go into the next topic. I'll have to get like that eventually. One of the things I put in this title is a message to when I get to 100,000 subscribers and beyond. There will come a point where people follow me just because I am the flavor of the month, or they see how many followers I have and they want to kind of hop in with that. I'm not against having casual fans. I'm not against having tourists. What I am against is these casual tourists who come in and think that they can tell me how I should run my stuff. I've actually already experienced this, with the tea shop. And I'm still a minuscule sized tea shop, but I've had several people in DMs tell me how I should do things. And it's the same generic advice that you'll get from like anybody else. And they don't realize that it's not a matter of do A, B automatically happens. It's never been like that. If it is, I'd be a fucking multi-billionaire at this point. Again, it's one of the reasons I'm so thankful for Mr. Wakeda. It's because of him letting me do the shout out that people got to even try my stuff. I can make the best tea on the planet. And if nobody knows I exist, it doesn't matter. It's why I've been talking in Discord so much about advertising and marketing. Because I realized that less and less people actually care about quality. It's all about marketing. It's all about the brand. It's all about which side of the culture war that you're on that people do stuff with you. And I've also noticed that with these big creators, if they make one tiny little mistake, one small step out of line, these people will turn on them. And they will want to just rip the creator apart. And so when I get to that point of 100,000 subscribers, just know that if you are that type of person who, if I step out of line for just a little bit, maybe because I'm tired, maybe because I was just plain wrong, and you want to rip me to shreds over it, fuck you. And I want to say it now, before I get to that point, because it's one of those things where if you are already at that point where you're making like hundreds of thousands of dollars a year by doing practically nothing, you can say all of these nice things. Oh yeah, just work hard and you will succeed. Yeah, just follow my advice because I'm already here based more so on luck than anything else. You can say all the type of bullshit that you want about what it actually took to get there. And it's not really going to mean much. Now, if you say it before you hit that point, and you keep saying it after you hit that point, then it means something. And so that's kind of the energy that I am going for with all this. If any of that makes sense. I'm just thinking back to some of the conversations I had with some people about the way I should do things. The way The way some people want me to put literally, and I'm using literally in the literal sense, thousands of dollars into something that mathematically will not work out in my favor. But, it'll give me good vibes. It'll give me good vibes for the store and whatnot. The way so many people want me to do stuff like that, it's kind of frustrating. Hasn't been happening as much lately, luckily, so I guess I got that going for me, but yeah. I own 10 Ferraris. Buy my guide to being an influencer for $50. Yeah, one of my favorite things is people buying those courses and then making videos on them to show that they're all the exact same and just how fraudulent they all are. People always ask the same question. Well, if success is do A, then B, and you'll get C out of it, why aren't more people successful like that? There's lots of people who follow the A-B formula, but then they never get to C. In fact, that happens to almost everybody. I've spoken about this in the past, but almost every single big-time creator that you see on Twitch, they didn't get there by their own merits. In fact, most of them don't have merits. They're actually painfully boring and generic and have nothing to their personality. You can just copy-paste them however you wish. They're all like the same singular entity. The reason they got to be where they are is because Twitch and their marketing agency working with Twitch put them there. Twitch used to have a thing where they would promote people, put them on the front page, tell people, hey, this is our creator spotlight, follow this totally random guy that we did not specifically choose to be the face of our company. And people like lemmings, they always want to be part of the plot, part of the crowd, flock to them. And that's how they grow. Well, they have a lot of followers, so they must be interesting or entertaining. No. This doesn't apply to everybody, of course. Moist Critical, who I mentioned in the beginning of this, I don't even subscribe to him, but I can recognize the stuff he does. He actually has an aura of entertainment around him. Mr. Beast, I don't follow him at all, but I mean, the philanthropy that he does and the good that he does in this planet is something else. It's admirable. So he deserves all the success he can get. And for me, I ended up going full circle in the stuff that I do. I kept pushing things so hard and hard, trying to follow my path in life, that I ended up straying from my path. And trying to get back to my path, I kept straining myself, and I just kept getting further and further away. So this recovery period for my burnout is going to continue. I don't know how long it's going to continue because I don't know how much damage I've done to myself. And that's another thing. For years, I've recognized that I'm damaging myself in potentially permanent ways, in ways I don't even understand yet. But I just kept on going because that's what I do. Just go and go and go. And so after this rest period ends, I'm going to have to take a real long, hard look at my life and how I do the things that I do and fix them. Because this is not sustainable. There's some things that I love more than my life itself, but those things would tell me, don't die for our cause. And that's what I've been doing. I've been killing myself. Slowly but surely. So that all needs to be fixed. I'm going to need to take a look at the Discord and see how I can fix that up. Because I've noticed there's been a lot less people who are chatting on it. I can kind of understand why. I've been bringing some of my baggage in a little bit too much. I've been talking too much about the culture war stuff, and there's just this aura of negativity that when I made the Discord, I made it perfectly clear I'm trying to keep this aura of negativity out. But I keep opening that fucking door like an idiot. So I gotta figure out how I'm gonna fix that and bring it back to more of the positive stuff. Though on the other hand, it's kind of annoying because people don't seem to want positivity. They don't want things to be happy. They don't want things to be good. As weird as it is to say. Look at it on my YouTube channel. My video shitting on Naruto. Wait, no, I said that wrong. I was not shitting on Naruto. I was giving actual criticism. But people who just want me to only shit on things began to follow me. That's one of the reasons I said a few months back, I kind of regret my 1.6 million view video, because it kind of brought in a lot of the wrong crowd. It brought in too many people who just want me to be shitting all over stuff. Too many people who just want me to just say, hey, popular thing is bad. Compared to my Gurren Lagann video, which is a lot more positive and a lot more of the energy I wanted to bring to people. In that case, I get to stop sharing negativity more often. Oh, that's a long name. I'm not sure who you are within the Discord, but yeah, it's kind of what I'm trying to do as well. I need to start doing. Stop sharing so much negativity. But like, for example, on Twitter, it's never been any of my positive, my happy posts that really get attraction. It's when I'm fighting with somebody. It's when I'm posting something negative. It's when I'm being confrontational that I grow. I mean, just yesterday or 2 days ago with the Camelot situation, you know, within a span of just a couple of hours, boom, 10 followers gone, just like that. From just a couple of tweets of being more on the negative side. The positivity doesn't help you grow. So what am I supposed to do with that? Obviously, I want to grow. I want to expand. But it's like the only way I can do that is with all of this negativity, all of this unhappiness, all of this toxicity that I wish to not include in the stuff that I do. You need to get confrontational content, argue about anime. That's not what I want to do. Again, I want to talk about the positives. I want to talk about the good. And then with the things I like, point out the bad things in it. Like my Epic of Dragon Ball series. Largely positive. When we got to the Buu Saga, I shit all over that because the Buu Saga did a lot of bad stuff. But it was still overall a positive video. I don't want to be another drama channel. I don't want to be that type of grifter who is just looking for clout. Again, I want to be the guy who people turn to for the high quality stuff. Wholesome arguments, argue about best anime. Maybe that's what I need to do, I don't know. But how can I grow in this culture, this zeitgeist of negativity, where people are trying to follow the guy who can shit on the other guy best? I don't know. I don't have the answer to that. I want the answer to that, but I also don't want people to tell me their half-baked ideas on how to do it. What the hell is this? I'll figure that out later. So yeah, that's this has been going on for an hour and a half. Just me rambling and ranting. But it's also been the most active the chat has been, so I'm grateful for that. I am. Let me take a quick little look here. Got 22 on Rumble. Only 4 on YouTube. That's okay. Most of the people are over on Rumble, so that's good. That's what social media is kind of designed for, spreading negativity slash rage clicks. I don't seem to have the power by myself to turn that tide. But maybe there is a way and I just don't see it because my brain is just fucking destroyed at the moment. Still destroyed. But I need to get some rest. I got some things planned later today, and those need my rest. So for all who have joined us up until this point, thank you. The people who have Rumble ranted, who have subscribed, thank you for that as well. And yeah, I don't want to belabor this any more than I have to. I'm sure there's a lot of things I wanted to talk about, but I missed. Again, my brain is running at like 1% capacity just because the sprinting has finally stopped. And now I need some time to rest. So thank you all who have joined, and I will see you next time.